brings you man on the street interviews, celebrity guests, and groundbreaking research. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but we're too numb to ask. I'm General Dentist Dr. Brian Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the other great shows that previously aired, log on to dentallyspeaking.com or iTunes, keywords Dr. Kvitko or Dentally Speaking. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brightening your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dentally Speaking. Thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a great show. Today is show number 382, and we have a great show because we have in the studio with us, we have Jessica Hollins from My Very Own Blanket. Let me introduce her in just a second. Before we do, I'd like everybody to go to my dental office Facebook page. It's called Dr. Kvitko and Associates, and like us. We would like that. Also, I want to let you know that our 5th annual Dentistry from the Heart event is going to take place June 12th. And as I mentioned last week, we need dentists. We need dental hygienists. So if you have one of those two, or both, bring them. Have them call us, 262-9588. Actually, it'd be better if you would call them and say, you want them to do this, okay? Because we can help a lot more people if we have more dentists and more hygienists. All right, so let me welcome Jessica Hollins. As I said, she is the founder and CEO of My Very Own Blanket. She is the mother of 3 wonderful children, Evan, Adam, and Cecilia. Next to this, she considers her most enriching endeavor to be serving as CEO of My Very Own Blanket. Starting MVOB in 1999 out of her home, she's helped grow and develop the organization in its 16 years to donate over 75,000 blankets to children in the foster care system in both Ohio and surrounding states. My Very Own Blanket has been able to fill a volunteer need by working with inmates in both male and female prisons, seniors of all ages up to 102 years young, students from kindergarten to college, and disabled young adults, to name a few. In this role, Jessica feels she simply plays the small part of the needle that sews all of the threads together. That's so cool. She's an active member at her church, and in years past has been host mother to 12 high school exchange students from 12 different countries through the Sunrise Rotary Club of Westerville Youth Exchange Program. In her spare time, which I guess she doesn't have a lot of, she loves to travel with her children, cook, quilt, and work on her stained glass. Very cool. Thank you, Jessica, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's really nice. I'm actually intrigued by this because, first of all, I hadn't really thought about the main focus of what you do. I should probably let you tell it, but, well, I'm going to tell it. And what it is foster kids, they don't really ever seem to have anything they can call their own. That's the whole genesis, right? Tell me about that.
That's right. My Very Own Blanket, we're dedicated to comforting these kids in the foster care system because when they have to move to another home, like you said, a lot of times they don't have things to take with them. And so what we want to do is give them something to be able to call their own that they can hang on to, something tangible, so that as they're moving to another place, that they're not sure what it's going to look like. They're with strangers and they're not sure who they're going to be with. They have something that this blanket they know is theirs and they can hang on to it.
And the reason it's theirs is because their name is on it, right? So their foster sister or brother can't claim it as theirs.
That's right. That's
the biggest thing that makes it theirs, right?
It is. It is. Each blanket we make, we put a tag on it. We sew a tag on it that says, My Very Own Blanket.
Right.
And then it says, a special gift of love made just for you. Because we want to show these kids that someone handmade this blanket for you.
Right.
And that we think you're really special. There's a line that the caseworkers allow the kids to write their name on it with a marker. And it's something that is tangible and visual that the kids can see that, wow, this is permanent. And I get to keep this and it's mine.
And they write it themselves?
They do.
Okay. And for little ones, the caseworker will write it?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. So how did you come to understand this dynamic? I mean, what got this going for you?
I was sitting in my nursery when my 3 children were 1, 2, and 3 years old.
Okay.
And at the time, I could not hold them all. And so I had 2 cribs and a toddler bed in the nursery, and I was sitting in a rocking chair knitting a blanket so that they could watch me as they were falling asleep. And as I was knitting that blanket, I thought, who could I knit this blanket for? Because I saw my 3 babies had a blanket of their very own. And I thought, they really don't need another one. And so as I was sitting there knitting, the idea came to me that I had always heard that children in the foster care system did not have very much. And so I decided I was going to knit that blanket for a child in foster care and give that to them next Christmas to the area county children's services.
Wow, that's not what I would have expected. I wouldn't have expected you sitting at home in your own home and just thinking about other children. I expected maybe somehow you'd gone to a foster home or the foster counseling center or something and seen personally what was happening, but you just kind of knew.
I did. I had never really had any kind of past experience with the foster care system. Did not know any kids in foster care, and it's just I'd always heard that they didn't have very much.
Wow. That's really something. So I guess there are also stories of, say, a foster sibling, like taking somebody's stuffed animal or taking something that really was the foster child's, but it didn't actually get to transport with them to the next home.
That's right. There was Regina, who's an alumni in the foster care system. She had said to us one time, when you're in foster care, you lose a lot. And when you move from placement to placement, things don't always move with you. But with this blanket, because it had her name on it, it moved with her. And it also showed all of the adults that was with her that she came with this blanket and it gets to leave with this blanket. She gets to leave with the blanket. And then it also showed the other kids living in the house with her that this was her blanket.
Wow. So that's really neat. She's an alumni now. She helps you.
Yes.
How old is she?
24.
And how old was she when she first got her blanket?
You know what? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That's no problem. Whatever it is, you made an impact because
Yes.
she's helping now.
Yep. I'm starting to learn of a lot more kids who hear their stories as they're coming back and saying how their blanket has helped them. And I had another gal say to us that when you're in foster care, you have to sleep in a bed that you know is not your own and that a lot of other kids have slept in. But with this blanket, you know it's yours and no one's going to take it from you, and you get to cuddle up with it every night. So those are the stories that we love to hear because those are the stories that the blankets are bringing hope to these kids and helping them through this time of transition and uncertainty.
Cool. And I was thinking about the story you told about how this got started. So you have 3 children, you only have 2 hands. Most moms grow a third one, by the way, at some point.
Yep.
But so you couldn't hold all 3. So instead, what'd you do? Set them all down and pick up 2 knitting needles?
Well, no, I put them all in their crib or their bed. I had 2 cribs and a toddler bed, and they were safe in their bed, and then I could have my 2 hands to do.
Can't hold any of you people. Just go away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know you didn't do that. You're not that kind of person. Okay. So now, are there any other organizations out there that do what you do at My Very Own Blanket?
There are a few other organizations out there that make blankets for kids or for children, but there's no other organization out there that is that I have
just
found
for foster
really that's
care.
just dedicated to kids in the foster care system. And that's the challenge of being able to do what we do is to keep it simple, just to keep it very simple. And we just give a blanket away, and
Right.
that's what we do.
Interesting. Okay. And you have records of like all these kids' names and stuff, or you just take them to a center or a hospital or wherever and they hand them out?
What we do is we work with children's services.
Okay.
So we'll work with children's services and agencies, behavioral treatment centers, and we will take the blankets to them, and they hand them out to the kids in care. Sometimes we get to go to conferences and see the kids we hand out the blankets
Right.
directly to the teenagers. And that's the other neat thing is that when we've done that, we've seen these kids, they get so excited about picking out this blanket. And with a table of 25 blankets on it, they can look at one and just feel the love and the special that was for them.
They just connect with the one.
They
Whether
do.
it's their favorite color or the look or the pattern.
That's right. Yeah.
That's really cool. So some important things then that you do would bring hope to kids.
We do.
You give volunteers a chance to use their talents.
Yes.
And then you also probably, tell me if I'm wrong, give folks a chance, people that are listening, a chance to continue your work through their generosity.
Yes. And we do. We need all three of those things.
Okay. Well, we're going to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day right now. And so you might want to remember what I just said. My very own blanket brings hope to kids, gives volunteers a chance to use their talents, and gives folks like you a chance to continue their work through your generosity, okay? Before we do, Dr. Kvitko, oh, and by the way, you know what? That's right. Today is special because we're going to have everybody that calls, well, the first 4, are going to be winners, because in addition to winning free flowers from Vice Number Florist, all of the callers, including that winner, are going to be entered into a drawing to receive a quilt, or rather, drawing to win a quilt. And this drawing is being held by the Tri-Village Lions Branch Club, and they're doing a fundraiser for My Very Own Blanket, where they're going to raffle off a quilt. And so what my wife and I are doing is we're donating some money to include all of, 4 listeners this week and 4 listeners next week. Okay, so it's going to be a good idea to call even if you don't know the answer to Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. All right, so before we do the question, we want you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. 1 winner per household, prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
When I see you smile, I can face the world. When I see you smile, see a ray of light.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, and the question of the day is, my very own blanket, A, brings hope to kids, B, gives volunteers a chance to use their talents, C, gives folks like you a chance to continue their work through your generosity, or D, all of the above. All right, the winner receives free flowers from Vice Number Florist. They'll be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. The number to call, 459-9769. That's 459-9769, so go ahead and call now.
Stay tuned to Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko.
At Dr. Kvitko & Associates, a lot of people ask us if we're accepting new patients. They know we've been in business for 34 years and assume we're not. Well, guess what? They're wrong. We do accept new patients. After all, if we're doing our job correctly, we get our patients healthy, so all they need are routine exams, cleanings, and the occasional filling or 2. That leaves us free to take care of you. So yes, we do take new patients, and we would love to take care of you, your family, and your friends. Give us a call at 614-262-9588 or go to drkvitko.com.
Dentally Speaking is his talk show. Dr. Kvitko. Let's go!
I bet everyone knows someone who is afraid of the dentist. In fact, 40% of Americans don't go to the dentist on a regular basis. The number one reason? Fear. Well, take heart. Here at Dr. Kvitko & Associates, we've been doing intravenous sedation since 1985, and we offer several sedation options, so we're certain we can help you. Want to be sedated for a filling? We do that. Want to be sedated for a cleaning? We do that. How about a root canal or a crown? We can sedate you for those too. Give us a call at 614-262-9588 or go to drkvitko.com.
Estás escuchando Dentally Speaking con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su estación favorita.
All right, we're back. We are doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. We have 4 callers, and actually we're just now getting a little information from the 4th one because we needed so much info. So what we have is Kelly, Mary, Melissa, and Denise. And if you remember, the question of the day was, my very own blanket, A, brings hope to kids, B, gives volunteers a chance to use their talents, C, gives folks like you a chance to continue their work through your generosity. And let's go with, let's see, Denise. Denise, are you there? That's caller number 4. Oh, there she, 4.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. She's holding up 4 fingers. I wonder if I threw her. All right, Denise. So, hey, do you have an answer to Dr. Kvitko's question of the day? I forgot to say.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. It is it A, B, C, or D? D being all of the above.
D.
That's right. We're glad you got it. And remember, Kelly, stay on the line. Mary, stay on the line. Melissa, stay on the line. because you're all going to win a raffle ticket into this drawing for the quilt. So, Denise, what do you do for a living? Denise?
I work at the Ohio School for the Deaf.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can hear the radio in the background. That's what's throwing you off because there's a delay.
Yeah.
There's a delay because we have 16-second delay for HD and because we're live. So anyway, all right, Denise. Well, hey, thank you so much. Stay on the line because we do have to get the information from you to get you both the raffle ticket and the flowers from Vice number, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And keep listening. All right, so Jessica, let's talk a little more. And by the way, I want to, it's a dental show, so I always have this this feeling that I want to understand how what my guest is doing is relating to dentistry. So I know that when a foster family takes in a foster child, they receive a certain amount of money, I assume from the county or the state or somebody, to pay for the food and clothing that child.
Yes.
And feeding and clothing that child. So, but is there any money ever for dental care?
Well, there's actually, yes. When they go into foster care, the kids will receive from the state a special card, a waiver card for dentistry and simple dentistry and eye care and other simple medical needs.
Okay.
What it does not include, though, is orthodontic treatment.
Oh, okay.
Any kind of, deep dentistry work.
Okay. And do you know, is the card... When you say waiver card, you don't mean they wave it up to the dentist and say, fix
No.
my teeth. But no, is it a welfare system or is it separate, different from that?
Yes, it comes from the state welfare system. Yes.
Okay.
From
Okay.
what I understand.
Okay. And so that would tell me, my next question was going to be, has there ever a situation where the foster child has access to dental care, but the family doesn't?
Yes.
There are?
Yes,
Wow.
the family does not.
That might make them jealous.
A little bit, yes, a little bit. The challenge to that then would be if the child needed more dentistry work,
Yes.
then they would that would go through another council with the state, and then it would be approved. Say they needed braces. Well, that's like a 2 or 3 year process.
Yes.
Sometimes they would not be able to possibly continue that. The family would not be able to. And if the child was reunited with the family, their birth family may not be able to continue that.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's when there are generous dentists and orthodontics that step in and say, hey, we want to help you out and we want to be able to do this pro bono.
So for the most part, if you're in the foster system, the chances of getting braces are pretty slim.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Unless you have generous people that will help you out.
Right, right. Have you been able to hook any of the children up with orthodontists?
I have not, only because I've tried to keep things simple and just work with the blankets.
Oh, okay.
That's what I do. But I know people that I can be resourceful and connect, different people to different resources. Yes.
Okay. If you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is Dentally Speaking, and today we have Jessica Hollins with us in the studio. She is the founder and CEO of My Very Own Blanket, an agency that donates blankets to foster kids, actually makes them, puts a tag on that says it's their own and lets them put their name on it. And you've donated now, 75,000 blankets?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I have not. I've been able to. I've just been the small piece that's put it together, that's helped weave it together. But I have volunteers that really do the majority of the work.
So
I'm very blessed.
let's talk about those volunteers, because I know you said you have up to 102 years old so far.
Mm-hmm.
How young? Little kids?
I believe our youngest one is 6.
Oh, wow.
And there's a picture that might be scrolling through with him. You'll see on the live cam.
Right. And I forgot to mention, we do this live video on ustreamtv.com. That's U, the letter U, not Y-O-U. And if you go there, you can watch this. And what is this building that I'm seeing on the, is this your headquarters?
The little gray building was the original building that we were in. It was about 600 square feet.
Okay.
And you'll see some pictures inside with the volunteers, and it was very tight. The unfortunate thing is that we were turning groups of people away because
no room to come in and
there's
work.
no room to come in and work. So what we've done is we've just moved into a larger facility down the street that has allowed us handicap accessibility. It has allowed us to have groups and tours and people.
So tell me that address, the phone number. How do people reach you if they want to help either volunteer making blankets or donate money? How do they do that?
They can go to our website, www.mvob.org, like My Very Own Blanket.
Got it.
mvob.org.
Okay.
They can come to our blanket workshop just north of Uptown Westerville. The address is 175 East Broadway Avenue.
Okay.
And
Phone number is 530-3327?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Or
And
they
then
can email us.
at info@mvob.org.
Yes.
And that's MVOB for My Very Own Blanket.
Yes.
Okay.
Or they can jump on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And they can also like us and follow us and see what we do.
Good. Okay, so now you have 2 requests, like Dr. Kvitko and Associates, and like My Very Own Blanket.
Yes. Yes, like My Very Own Blanket.
All right, so now, so what else do you offer the community? So besides the blanket creation and donations, what else do you do?
Some of the things that we've gotten into is teaching sewing classes. Sewing is a lost art, and we have a lot of volunteers who have a lot of talents in different areas, whether it be crocheting and knitting. They like to teach that, sewing. But we're now offering sewing classes.
Wow.
We have a long arm quilting room where we'll teach people how to quilt their quilts on the long arm.
That's a device, I assume?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And there's a couple volunteers we both know, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, a lot of our volunteers have special talents, and that's what we like to do is we like to gather people's talents and find out what they're good at and plug them into how they can help us. So we have this very special group called, we call them our mother-daughter team. And the daughter will bring the mother in, and they will get scraps of fleece.
Right.
Which the beautiful thing is that we have a lot of scraps of fabric and fleece and different things. So they come in and they get all of our scraps. They'll go home and they will sew the fleece together.
Right.
Fringe them, put blankets together, and we see them once a month.
Okay, so there's more than just my wife and my mother-in-law that do this?
No, your wife and your mother-in-law are the fleece,
the whole category.
The fleece, the scrap fleece ladies, yes.
Oh, okay.
The team. But it's neat because we see them every month, and they bring in anywhere from like 20 to 30 blankets. So it keeps them busy, and it helps us use our resources in a very good way.
Cool. We do have to go to a break. If you can stay with us, please. More from Jessica Hollins when we come back from My Very Own Blanket.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko.
State ascoltando Dentally Speaking con il dottor Kvitko, qui sulla vostra radio preferita.
Here at Dr. Kvitko and Associates, we are intensely dedicated to providing the absolute best dental care. The word mediocre isn't in our vocabulary. We just won't take shortcuts. Isn't that what you want in the person you trust with sharp objects in your mouth? Of course it is. However, people tend to assume high quality means expensive. But guess what? We're more affordable than you think. Our fees are about the same as one of those chains. But with us, you get our 34 years of experience and our unwavering commitment to quality. Discover for yourself. Call us at 614-262-9588.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the Dentally Speaking show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now or send an email to drkvitko@aol.com.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Are your teeth crooked? And while you would like them straight, there's no way you would wear braces for 2 years. What if I told you that you could straighten your teeth in 6 months between now and your next cleaning? Would you be interested? Call us today at 614-262-9588.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
Oh yeah, baby, when I see you smile, smile at me.
All right, if you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is Dentally Speaking. We have Jessica Hollins from My Very Own Blanket in the studio with us today. And we've been talking about what you do. And by the way, one of the callers asked when will the raffle take place? The raffle for the quilt is going to take place on July 25th. And they also asked how people can buy more tickets so that they can get in the raffle too. And that would be if you'll send an email to info@mvob.org. mvob.org.
Yes.
And say, how do I buy more raffle tickets? You'll
Yes.
get back to them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And info, and how, they're what it is, they're $5 each. Or if for $20, you get 5 of them.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, that was info@mvob.org. You'll get your question answered. Perfect. All right. So, Jessica, tell me, what was the next thing I wanted to find out? Okay, so how can people get involved? Because obviously, if they sew or you can teach them how to sew, what do they do besides, I guess they have to reach out to you, but what are the different ways?
They can, again, there's a lot of talents that people have that we can use. So if they come in and they say, I don't sew, what can I do? Well, there's fabric that needs to be sorted. There's fabric that needs to be cut. There's blankets that need to be tied, pinned. There's a lot of different things that you can do without sewing. There's also other ways that you can get involved as well. I'm actually right now looking for someone to do my social media
okay.
and help out with that. Because we work in 3 prisons, we need drivers to be able to drive materials to those prisons. I don't know if you knew, but 80% of inmates have been affected by the foster care system at some point in their life.
Yeah.
So we have 3 programs where people are sewing, the inmates are sewing the blankets, and it gives them a great way to give back to society. But we need drivers, and we need, there's lots of different ways. So don't be afraid to call us and tell us what your talent is, and we'd love to plug you in some way. Even if you do dentistry and we can refer you to a great dentist, I happen to know one, that they can get their teeth cleaned and worked on. So there's lots of different ways that you can get involved.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now it's time for my segment. We started it a while ago. It's called Why in the World? So this week's topic is, why in the world would you choose to have me as your dentist? Why would you choose me, right? So I'm going to tell you why. First, we don't take shortcuts. We take whatever time is necessary to do a great job. We don't tell our hygienist to squeeze an hour's worth of services into 30 minutes. We give her the entire hour. Ask yourself, how long does your dental checkup take when you're there? If they only take 30 minutes, there's a good chance you really aren't getting the care you think you are. So think about how long it takes you to wash your car really well. I mean really well, where there are no missed spots on the paint, no water spots left on the windows and mirrors, the carpets have been vacuumed, the rims and tires are thoroughly cleaned, right? Maybe you don't really care if your car is that spick and span after you wash it, but let's face it, a quickie cleaning might be okay for your car, but do you really want that for your teeth? If you agree with me and the answer is no, then choose Dr. Kvitko & Associates for your dental care. Call 262-9588 to become our newest satisfied patient. It looks like, we do have a little bit of time. So Jessica, tell me what your proudest moment is.
My proudest moment is seeing all of this come together to be able to help the kids and help the volunteers. 16 years ago when I started this, and when the idea was, given to me by what I believe to be a higher power, to choose me to do this work, I did not think that, all of this was going to come out of it. And so it just is, it's just been a beautiful thing to see how many people are affected in so many different ways.
It's very, very cool what you do. So keep doing what you're doing. If you want to call 530-3327 or email info@mvob.org. All right, that's all the time we have. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @Dr. Kvitko. And visit my office Facebook page and like us. Be sure to join me next Sunday and every Sunday morning right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week for another exciting episode of Dentally Speaking with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to dentallyspeaking.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you would like to book Dr. Kvitko to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588. Or send an email to drkvitko@dentallyspeaking.com. dentallySpeaking.com. That's DRKVITKO at dentallySpeaking.com.
WSNY and WSNY HD Columbus.
The opinions expressed in this program are